Business 911, Sandra Dueck sporting her version of pink for Pink Shirt Day. We've been chatting about fashion, but we're moving on to business. Don't worry, we're done talking about fashion. So legislation of proposed mandatory labeling on food. Who's this going to affect?
The legislation is going to affect restaurants that have 20 or more locations in Ontario. So it's the larger fast food chains that it's going to affect. And they must also have revenues of $5 million plus a year.
Oh. So we're talking not about the mom and pop shops,
No.
the one-off restaurants. Now, what if we have a very successful restaurant in Peterborough that's doing $5 million annually?
It says 20 or more locations, so they only meet one of those criteria. Wow. So I would say there's some wiggle room there if that's you.
So you have a statement from whom?
Well, when I did some research on the legislation, looked into it a little bit, I was interested to find out, like, as the chamber, as a lobby group, we're always asking the government and to change or to find ways to do things better. And the Restaurant, Hotel and Motel Association is actually somewhat in favor of this legislation.
Surprising to me.
And the reasoning is because it takes it from being piecemeal within municipalities, and it's now straight across the province. So there's a level. Now, they actually would like to see it across Canada.
Really?
So.
Okay.
If it's going to be done, have it done across Canada, but they're actually happy to see it that it's provincial so that it's not differing within municipalities, because that creates a burden for them. If it's one municipality, one right next door doesn't have it, then that's where you get, that, I guess, disconnect.
But they're for it. They think
yeah,
and
you know why they're for it? Because a lot of the restaurants are already doing it in some version, whether it's on the website, whether it's in pamphlets that are there. That awareness actually started within them. It's already started. So it's not a piece of legislation that's just suddenly coming down. It's a piece of legislation that's kind of developed out of what's been happening. So I think that's the difference in how it's working and why the reaction has been as it has and somewhat favorable.
Okay.
Very good. Always helpful information. Sandra Dueck from the Peterborough Chamber. Of course, she's brought to us by our friends at...
Business 911 is brought to you by Nexacom Unlimited Internet. We have what it takes.